If it appears as though Apple is no longer trying to surprise and excite us with its annual iPhone revisions, it's because it's not. Now that the main iPhone has become the standard smartphone rather than a luxury item, Apple has reserved its real ambition for the upcoming iPhone X and its edge-to-edge screen. That leaves the iPhone 8 as an incremental upgrade over the iPhone 7, which was itself an incremental upgrade over the iPhone 6s and the 6 before that. The fact that you could easily mistake the iPhone 8 for its 3-generation-old ancestor at a glance doesn't mean it isn't a great phone, because it absolutely is. By nearly every measure, it's the most powerful phone out there, and it matches or beats most of its competition with a high-quality camera and a pocket full of excellent features. What it lacks in razzle-dazzle, it makes up for in high-quality construction and tested dependability. When you get up close, there are a few telltale signs that this isn't last year's phone. The back of the iPhone 8 is glass instead of aluminum, giving it a subtle yet beautiful glossy look and more traction against your fingers. The downside is that it's more expensive to repair than past iPhones if you break it. The base model iPhone 8 is $50 more expensive than the iPhone 7 was at launch, but that's justified because it comes in 64 gigs for $699 instead of the cramped 32 gigs offered in the 7. That's competitive with the Samsung Galaxy S8. For the high end, Apple skipped straight to 256 gigs for $849, but as usual, there's no micro SD slot for expanding storage. This is the second generation of iPhone without a headphone jack after its controversial removal from the iPhone 7, and if that's a deal breaker for you, the deal remains broken. Even with the included adapter, it still stings when you want to plug into both power and audio and can't. One of the big steps up this year is the processing power, which Apple claims is comparable to a MacBook Air. But considering it's been hard to come by apps and games that tax the speed of last year's phone, there's not much out there that can make the iPhone 8 break a sweat. Because of that, for now, the day-to-day experience of using it isn't drastically different from the past couple of generations of iPhone. It's only when you're doing something like rendering an edited video in iMovie that you're going to see a big boost. That said, when the iPhone 8 is under stress, you can feel it. The top half of the phone can get uncomfortably hot. The iPhone 8 screen is the same 1334 by 750 resolution as it's been since the iPhone 6, which is hard to complain about at 4.7 inches. The display improvements this year are subtle, but the most noticeable is that it automatically adjusts the color to match light in the room to be easier on your eyes. It's a nice effect, especially in low light, but this is still no OLED as found in high-end Android phones like the Galaxy Note 8 and soon the iPhone X. The camera is another area with incremental improvements. Photos from the rear camera are the same 12 megapixel resolution as the iPhone 6s and 7, but a larger sensor captures more detail. In video mode, the difference is more pronounced. This camera can record in 4K up to 60 frames per second, up from 30. It can also capture 240 frames per second in 1080p for slow motion video, where the iPhone 7 was limited to 720p. But of course, if you're really after the best quality smartphone photos and optical zoom, the iPhone 8 Plus dual lens camera is the way to go. Even though the battery on the iPhone 8 is slightly lower capacity than the iPhone 7, it lasted practically as long in our tests. It's easily survived a full day of moderate use, including around an hour of gaming time. Charging up, again, is an area where the iPhone 8 has added a meaningful new feature. It's the first iPhone to use the Qi wireless charging standard. That means you can pick up a charger for around $15. It's convenient to be able to simply plop your phone down on a nightstand at night instead of fiddling with a cord or dock connector. It even works through a case. But keep in mind that this is a feature that's been available on competing Android phones since 2012. Apple is finally catching up here. Wireless charging is slower than with a cable, but if you're in a hurry, the iPhone 8 supports fast charging technology that pumps a battery up to 50% in 30 minutes. The software update in iOS 11 introduces support for Augmented Reality, or AR, for the iPhone 6s and later. Right now, it's pretty gimmicky, but now that millions of iPhone users have hardware that can do it, AR is the kind of fertile ground where a killer app could spring up at any moment. The iPhone 8 represents a healthy update in key areas over last year's model, making it a reliable go-to phone with nearly all of the expected features. In fact, it has more power than it knows what to do with right now, which at least makes it feel future-proof. Its camera also makes meaningful improvements in stills and video, and the wireless charging is a long overdue addition. But the iPhone 8 also feels routine when placed next to its older siblings, and without a must-have feature, it's tempting to consider the iPhone 7 to save money or the iPhone X for what looks like a more exciting upgrade. For more on the iPhone 8, check out our unboxing video.